What is up, everybody? It is your boy Thriller back with some BBR semi-finals. Now, if you guys have not, no, just kidding. I'm not gonna spoil anything. I just realized I can't say anything yet. But anyway, so we are here for the semifinals. If you guys did not check out how we got here, the quarterfinals happened as of recording this video. Oh wait, I'm stupid. The quarterfinals video will go up before this one. I keep doing that to myself. But if you guys didn't check out quarterfinals, unfortunately, some big upsets in my opinion. Some big upsets. First one, being that Matt, aka Dr. Slacking, took down Obo, which I felt like was a bit of a shocking victory right there. Not to say that Matt didn't have a good chance to win the game, he did, but based on the last matchup, Obo definitely probably had most of the match won. Obviously it came a lot closer because of Sneasel. But I really think Matt had a chance to win there. But when it comes down to this, I'm really excited to see real quick, guys. I'm going to pause real quick just to figure out something real quick. All right, I am back, guys. Sorry, I just want to make sure those ping notifications were important. So, real quick, Matt picked up the big victory, which I was really shocked to see Matt win that one. But you know what? I'm happy to see a team like his go forward into the semifinals. Up next, we had Leo taking on Pokey Baldy in this rematch as well. And Baldy once again fell to a man of 6 foot. And Leo picked up a massive win. And Leo for I think the second time now of Generation 9 out of his third league back, I think. It's his third league back, I believe. He has now made it to semifinals twice, so he's definitely shown that he does not have that rust. He still has the game plan. He still has the talent to make it there. So I'm really excited to see Leo in the semifinals. Up next, we had OGL Bina, Owen taking on Keegan. And Keegan ended up having to regret what he did because Keegan lost. And funny enough, of the three coaches that picked their opponent, only one won, being Leo. Leo picked Pokebaldi for a rematch, and Leo won. However, Keegan picked Owen and lost, and Obo picked Dr. Slacking, and he lost. So, really big upset victories here, in my opinion. And Owen gets to continue defending the championship. He's got two more games to win. He's got two more games to become the first ever back-to-back BBR champion. Boy, he's not. He's got some very tough matches coming up for him. So let's hope that he can pull this out. And the last match that we got to talk about is, of course, Amel taking on John in the first ever matchup this season. I'm pretty positive on, and to a massive upset to some, a little bit of myself as well. John, who was my pick to win it this season, unfortunately got knocked out. And a little bit of a shocker there. I'm not gonna lie. I felt like John had a really good team matchup into Amel, but Amel does his stuff. And it was just probably a really overall good game. It's just one of those tough matchups, man. And you gotta feel for John. But you know what? John really proved himself to make a bounce back after last season, after having such a terrible start to then having like a fighting playoff spots and unfortunately having playoffs. You know, to at least make playoffs with a team like this, which definitely was John's best, one of John's best teams. Um, I just think maybe he didn't get a chance to really want to perform the team to the best of his ability. Um, and I think John has that occasional problem where he just constantly makes changes to the team, which which makes it for a good decision because it fixes all the holes he has. But I think he just kept on just like not patching up a main weakness that he should have fixed and such. But it's what it is now. But John though was an amazing player this season, just like everyone else was. But we're going to talk about the semifinals, ladies and gentlemen, because these were not predetermined. This was the I think this was based around highest seed versus lowest seed or something like that. I don't remember, or it was just based how the matchups were worded or something. I don't know how it was going to be like that. So, but we can go see right here. So we had Baldy Also, ignore these. This is not actually how the matches were played out. This is just default. So we have Leo head into the semifinals, and Leo is actually going to be taking on Amel. This is a rematch, ladies and gentlemen, and this should be a very interesting rematch here, as Amel pulled off a big, massive sweep with Latias getting the weakness policy and the agility set to work. I definitely think Leo let himself get into a position where that let him happen, but I definitely think Leo's got to make sure he is prepared for that set this time. Let's go over the teams real quick again. Again, these will probably be some matchups. This is going to be a matchup we're not going to talk too in depth with because it did happen in the regular season. But the next match we will talk about a little bit more in more breakdown. And also the semifinal videos and the finals video, they're not going to be as long, but I am going to try to go over some details and try to make them as long as I can possibly make them while still making them very entertaining. With that being said, we have Leo's team here with TERPRAGOS, Roy Moon, Ogerpon, Wellspring, Hattering, Cobalion, Alomola, Clodsire, Thunderous Therian, Sinistra, Magneton, while Amel's rocking out with the Darkrai, Pecharunt, Quavel, Clefable, let's go. Latias, Ogerpon, Quarterstone, Hippowdon, Regieleki, and Vivillon. So, looking at the All-Star season members for this team, I think for Leo, I think easily Mon's like Sinistra, probably Ogerpon, maybe Terapagos, and maybe Roaring Moon have been like the big shining stars on his team. I think Sinistra has easily been his MVP this season based on how everything has gone. Amel has had a lot of good success. Quavel has obviously proved really good for Amel. I think Latias has had its moments. Ogre has been pretty decent. Darkrai has been usable. I don't think it's been the worst thing. Pecharunt actually has not been the strongest for Amel this time around. I think Pecharunt definitely did not perform as well as I think Amel would have loved to have performed with Pecharunt, in my opinion. But Pecharunt is Pecharunt. So I would definitely think in this rematch, Leo might have a slight advantage because for again, he does have a bit of a stronger matchup in most of Amel's team. But I do think now that Amel kind of showed off the weakness policy strats, he's now going to know about that Latias. But definitely don't count Amel out. Amel can definitely bring something creative. Like last time, Amel did not bring Vivillon into this matchup, and if we kind of look at the team here, Vivillon kind of cooks. Like if Thunder's Theory doesn't show up, Vivillon kind of just 6-0s. I do think Clodsire, if it comes, is forced to be underwear in this matchup because it has to respect potential setup options from Amel's team. Unfortunately, I really do think Water Absorb is a fit here, where I think Ogerpon Wellspring definitely makes a bit of a harder time to be brought because of Water Absorb as well. But I think overall, this is a really solid option. So, from Amel's side, though, I definitely could see him really pulling off some stunts again with the Quavel, which looks insanely good in this matchup. I could see him definitely pulling off some strats with Latias again, potentially. Ogerpon Quarterstone. Probably not gonna come, but it has a decent options to kind of provide good offensive utility. The Regieleki, if for some reason Leo doesn't bring Clodsire, actually could smack Leo up here if he's not careful. I think it's gonna really come down to just how Leo prepares for this rematch and what Amel cooks up for semis. I think it's gonna be a really interesting matchup here, and I think both coaches definitely deserving of finals. Everyone in playoffs deserve to make finals. If I had to pick who I want to win this one, I'm actually going to pick him because I don't think I've ever seen him in finals, and I don't know if he's ever won a championship. And I'm not saying that to be disrespectful. I'm saying that because I actually don't know. But I'm going to pick Amel. I believe Amel can make his first finals, and he's got himself a decent chance to win a championship here. He was able to recreate the success that he had 2 seasons ago with BBR, with not BBR. That was like the playoff knockout round. Actually, maybe it was like 3 seasons ago. I don't know. But I believe in Amel. I definitely think he has the opportunity to win this year, and I'm going to be picking him because that is my boy. That is my goat, or I guess penguin, I should say, that honks. But I'm going to go with Amel for this matchup. And it's funny, all the matches went on top sheep, so it makes it so much easier to never have to show him, which is really nice. Hmm. Now, this is going to be an interesting matchup because it's a matchup that's never happened in the regular season, that at least I remember of. So this is the first ever matchup here, and this is going to be a very interesting matchup here. We've got my boy OG Albino defending BBR champion here with the Iron Valiant, Chi Yu, Glamora, Swampert, Metagross, Talonflame, Decidueye, Porygon Z, and the Hariyama, where we take on here the Matt, aka Cosmo Whimsicott, aka Dr. Slacky, aka politically correct nickname man of the Pokemon, and knowing what the Pokemon's names are. We have Donphan, Girafarig, Terrakion, Zarude, Mudsdale, Turtonator, Cobalion, Impidimp, Basculin, and Growlithe. So, looking at Owen's perspective here, Iron Valiant goes so hard in this matchup. There is only one real good switch into Valiant, in my opinion, and that is going to be Crown. But that's only to an extent. Offensively, there are some tools here. Like I think Boulder can offensively check Valiant to a certain extent. Obviously, things like Enamorous can kind of check it decently well. Iron Crown can check it offensively as well, same with Grafii. But Iron Valiant is very hard for Matt to switch into. It is very hard to switch into with the combination of dual stab, plus one coverage move, and Swords Dance. I think Chi Yu has a pretty solid matchup here. It's definitely going to be kind of forced to be a Scarf Chi Yu, though, if I had to be guessing, because I could see something like a Booster Speed, Max HP, Max Speed Tusk coming in this matchup. I also think having that speed guaranteed to outspeed things like the Boulder, the Chi-Yu, the Crown, and everything like that. I think Chi-Yu can do really, really well in this matchup. Glamora, definitely think you have to bring Glamora because it's going to really, like, Matt's only has removal is going to be the Donphan, unfortunately. So I definitely think Glamora has like a sash lead and trying to get up like potentially rock spikes and T spikes, or having spikes and rocks, whatever you can, just to get some shit damage off on that. I think Swampert is interesting. I think Swampert's a really good answer to things like Raging Bolt, but I think it's supposed to be like max HP, max Pdef invested with a potential Assault Vest, maybe. I don't know. Also, a really solid Iron Boulder switch in. It's also a really good answer to things like the Enamor Stirring to an extent, the Iron Crown, the Grafii. It's just a really good, decent defensive piece. I think Metagross is insane this matchup. I think Metagross checks a lot of things off the box here. And I can really see an agility weakness policy Metagross coming in the absolute clutch this week and really putting words. I could even seen something like a dual dance instead of agility, iron defense, and either going with Meteor Mash so that way you can kind of hit some things from body press, or going with agility, iron defense, and then most likely just dual stab and then just going from there. Because dual stab shuts down this majority of Matt's team, if not all of Matt's mons. So I think it's really good. Talonflame here looks pretty good, but I don't know if you're going to realistically bring it with things like Boulder, Bolt, and Vasco Legion around. Could be a possibility. Same with Decidueye. Don't really know if you're going to bring this mon. It's good offensively into a couple of things. Defensively, not the greatest, but we could see a possibility for Decidueye to come. PZ. This is probably not really a PZ matchup, in my opinion. I think PZ kind of gets overwhelmed by a lot of things. I don't think it's got a good enough matchup here. I think coverage wise it's really good, but I think overall it's really that solid. And Hariyama, I definitely could see Hariyama coming. Hariyama could be something like mixed offensive AV. It could be more of like an offensive AV user. Um, could see guts potentially. It's a really weird matchup for this Mons, but it definitely can do a lot of work here. Whereas Matt's team, he's got Great Tusk, and Great Tusk has little counterplay on Owen's draft. Great Tusk, if he gets a speed boost and can outspeed everything on the team, it kind of just shuts everything down. It kind of just be able to click some buttons into Owen's draft, and he was not carrying. Raging Bolt, definitely could see Raging Bolt. Raging Bolt has really good offensive capabilities into this matchup. I think with having the combination of dual stab, thunderclap, and either going with maybe sub with leftovers or calm mind, and then just going with maybe like resist berry. I think Raging Bolt can really provide a really good offensive momentum here, potentially as well with Volt Switch. And overall, just to be a smack something really hard, because definitely see a possibility for specs. As the only dragon switch-ins are going to be Iron Valley and Metagross, which can easily be switched in with a Thunderbolt and everything that can come in on a Thunderbolt doesn't really get hit with a Draco Meteor, so I definitely can see that. Iron Boulder looks absolutely insane this matchup. This is gonna be a very interesting Iron Boulder build this week. I think you bring dual stab. I think that's really good. But if you're gonna bring like a booster set, I think Swords Dance plus Earthquake is the move to go with. Now the reason why I say SD, go with things like SD with Mighty Cleave, Zen, and Earthquake. I think Earthquake checks primarily the Metagross that you want to have, but your dual stab Literally is unresisted. Now, obviously, Swampert is going to be the biggest hindrance right there, but you can get around Swampert in my opinion. So I definitely think that could be really, really risky viability there. Ogerpon, don't know how comfortable Matt's going to be bringing this thing. It's not really that good into a lot of things that Owen has. I think that's going to be one of the mons that might be sitting on the bench. Kind of same with Ting Lu. I think Ting Lu kind of has a bit of a rough matchup here. I don't think Ting Lu realistically comes. It's not that bad into Owen, but I don't know if he's going to really be mindset. Now, granted, Owen does have two defog users, so I do think that's going to be one of those things where I don't really know if Matt wants to do that, unless he wants to force Owen to defog his own hazards going into this. Enamorous T, don't really think that comes. It's not really that good of a matchup wise. It's not that bad into things like the Valiant and the Shi but Gamora kind of hard wall checks it. Swampert can kind of just take hits and be able to beat it on 1v1. Metagross is a really solid answer towards it. Everything else kind of is alright, but I wouldn't be surprised to see it. Iron Crown. Iron Crown offensively looks really good here. I think the only things stopping Iron Crown from really doing a lot of things is going to be things like the Talonflame and the Metagross primarily. So, and also the Shiryu. So I don't really know if it comes. Grafai here might be the hidden gem. I think a Swords Dance Power Herb Dig set goes so hard because here's the reason why I say that. You use the power up dig to get rid of things like the Glamora, the Metagross primarily, and then you have acrobatics. You have got a normal type move, and you have gunk shot. I don't see a lot of things that could switch into Owen's team here from Owen's team to that set combination of three moves. Swampert is the best bet you've got to that, and then again, the Grafai could just switch it up on you. So, Grafai also has good pivoting momentum in this match, which is really good as well. Basket Legion, definitely think there's a good chance we see the Basket Legion come. I would like to actually kind of see a Swiftsum set with Rain Dance because I think that actually goes insanely hard. Or something like Rain Dance with a Cobra and then like adaptability on there because like that kind of shuts down a lot of Owen's team. Like adaptability boosted Basket Legion hits. Definitely do not have a switch in on Owen's draft. I think this is gonna be one of the hidden threatening Pokemon on the roster. And Zora, honestly, Matt might just low key bring it to Owen if he doesn't know what six mon he wants, and that's gonna really mess up Owen completely because he's gonna literally have to play around every time with this Pokemon could be Hisui and Zoro. So I really think that's really funny. In terms of the matchup here, I actually am going to give it to Owen, not because of the fact that he's the defending BBR champion. I just think his matchup into Matt's team is super good. Like I think it's top, honestly, it's top five, and then a combination of any of the bottom four are super good into this matchup. I know Owen said he kind of didn't really like how his team came together this season, but it's really providing well. I just think maybe a little more better draft structure and not having to make transactions all the time kind of plays a factor in that. But overall, I think Owen's team is really solid here, and it's going to go into Matt's team, and I think Matt can definitely pull off the win here if he plays really good. But Owen's team, I think, is going to be really one tough one to beat here. So I do think Owen has a good chance to win this and go to the finals to defend his championship. And if I had to make my prediction, obviously, if I'm picking Owen, I'm picking Amel. So it would be Owen and Amel, which had fought in the regular season. And it came down to a narrow 1-0 loss on Owen there when he lost to Amel. But I honestly would love if Amel doesn't win. I would actually love it to see Amel versus 6 Foot Hacks. I feel like that is just a poetic finals matchup because the GB. I'm trying to remember what league it was. Was it GBU? Not John's GBU, but it was the it was a league that Leo 6 Foot Hacks ran in the beginning of Gen 8 when they allowed like Gigantamaxes, and it was Owen and 6 Foot Hacks in the finals. And Leo had pretty much thrown the game away and somehow walked away with winning. And it was his league that he ran as well, so he won the championship for his own league. Um, or it was something else. I don't remember what else it was, but Leo walked away with the championship there. So I think it'd be a really cool poetic finals match, rematch after how many years from Gen 8 to Gen 9. I feel like that'd be really cool and poetic. But that's gonna be it there, guys. Definitely leave a like if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new. Join the crew today because he's really, really king of the crew. And as terms of how the plugin goes, I'm still gonna plug everyone's channels down in the description down below, even if it is only the quarterfinals from last week's to semifinals this week. I think you should still subscribe to everyone that was a part of the season because they were all fantastic coaches. They brought you all some fantastic games, some great content, and I definitely look forward to doing more work with these guys and hanging out with my brothers for future seasons to come. Thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.